afternoon, everyone, and thank you all for joining us here in person as well as online for, as Alexa said, one of our Mental Health Matters series. So our Mental Health Matters series is sponsored in partnership between Student Support and Wellness as well as Family and Community Engagement Team in RICO. And our Mental Health Matters series has been a year-long series where we once a month kind of have an offshoot of the traditional Bridge Builder Academies specifically focused on issues related to mental health. So we're excited tonight to support, we talked about recognizing and supporting our military families, but also just wanted to make mention that we have one additional session left, which is coming up on May the 8th. You can again join us either in person or virtually, but we'll be at the Tuckahoe area library, and the student support and wellness team, along with our case team, will be providing tips and resources for supporting student mental health through the summer months. So just wanted to bring that to everyone's attention, and we love any suggestions and ideas as we move into next school year topics that you would like us to share more information about. So without further ado, I do not want to take away from our wonderful panel of speakers today. I'm going to turn it over to Star Anderson, our elementary school counseling specialist, to introduce the guest that she has with us. Thank you, Star.
Thanks, Amy.
I think it's
All right, so thank you for that warm introduction. Again, I am Star Anderson, and I'm the elementary school counseling specialist for the county.
Hi, I'm Cami Paranto, and I'm one of the school counselors at Wood Elementary School.
Hi, I'm Lexi Decker. I'm also a school counselor.
So I get to work with Lexi and Candy at the school level, and I appreciate them being here tonight for this month's Mental Health Matters. We'll get right into it. Right? So tonight's Mental Health Matters series is focusing on our military connected students. As you may know or may not know, April is the month of the military child. So that's why we wanted to highlight this topic for this.
We're going to start with some facts about military connected families.
So you can either scan the QR code if you're in person, and if you are out in the virtual world, you can use the chat to answer if you'd like, or if you can scan the screen, you can do that too. So this is just a way to get everybody engaged. You shouldn't have to download the app. You see that? So can y'all see the question?
We only see like
Yes. Okay. And right up there.
Yes. All right, so I cannot get into my Kahoot account. However, I have the questions. We have 4 questions, and our first one is, how many military bases are in Virginia? It's either 35, 27, 20, or 23.
Any guesses?
I'm gonna say 23.
23, any more guesses? We have 32. Anybody else? 27. And if you can hear us out there in the virtual world, feel free to unmute your mic throughout the answer.
23.
India Baylor, I think that's what you said. You said 23.
Yes.
So the correct answer is
27. Our next question is, which branch represents the largest military?
the Army, the Navy, National Guard, or Marine Corps.
In Virginia.
The largest military branch.
He was confident.
Is confident that it's the Army. Anybody else? Navy, Army, anybody out in the virtual world?
Army.
Right?
Yeah, it's Army. Another fun fact. So what is the average number of times military families / children move? We have either 4 to 7, 6 to 9 times, 1 to 3 times, or 10 to 12.
4 to 7. 1 to 3.
4 to 7, 6 to 9, 1 to 3, or 10 to 12. Yeah, it is 6 to 9 times families will move.
Okay, so this is going to be a fun one.
Which one of these celebrities are military connected? Shaquille O'Neal, Wiz Khalifa, or Reese Witherspoon? Or all of the above.
All the
You have a great test too.
I forget to do.
Right, we're going to go back to share our screen. Thank you guys for being patient with that technical.
So we're going to quickly go over our purpose as well as Henrico County Public School statistics, as well as some more of our guests and how we support Henrico County Public Schools. So April is the month of the military child. So to highlight this month, we wanted to dedicate this month's Mental Health Matters session to raising awareness about our military families and how our schools support our students who are connected to the military. We also feel it's important to make sure that our families feel connected to a community of others who are military connected.
All right, so in Henrico, within Henrico Public Schools, we have about 612 students who are in fact military connected. We do expect this number to increase with so many new housing developments being built around the county, and also with the opportunities offered to our armed forces from the county side. So I know this number may seem low. However, it is important that we are making sure that the students who are military connected do feel supported, and all of our subgroups that are included in this are supported. So it may seem like a low number compared to the student body. However, it is important to our school-based mental health teams and our educators that the students do feel supported in the ways that they need to be. All right, and now I have the honor of introducing our special guest. We have Mr. Dan Dunham from the Virginia Department of Education, and he works with military student families. And we also have Mr. Ben King, who is the Operations Director for the Virginia War Memorial. So, you guys can come on up.
Well, hello, everyone online and everyone in the audience tonight. So, yeah, I'm Dan Dunham. This is Ben King, a good friend of mine, and we're happy to be here. We're happy to talk about military connected students. And families and kind of what they need in terms of support and what we do in the Commonwealth to support them. So Virginia, there's over 1.2 million military-connected children across the world, really, and across the United States and the world, and they're attending public schools, private schools, or homeschool, just like everybody else. And Virginia happens to be home to more military-connected children than any other state in the nation. You would think that Texas or California, but in fact, it is Virginia. So we have over 77,000 military-connected children residing in the state and attending our public schools. We have a greater number than that, between 0 to 18, that are attached to either active duty, guard, and reserve families. And that's not including our military families who have separated from service and are veterans. So we have a great number of children whose family member might be ill or wounded and attached to a hospital that services them in Virginia. We have 2 Cat 5 areas, and what Cat 5 means is that we have hospitals that have the capability of handling ill and wounded warriors. And so the ones in Fort Belvoir, we have another great hospital in Portsmouth, and we have a few more veteran hospitals around the state. But they have the capabilities of providing ongoing care for our veterans. And so as we think of the month of the military child, we should not forget that we have children attached to veterans who have recently separated, that we should be considering them extended caregivers because they have a great deal of responsibilities placed on these children, and we should be thinking about them, especially since this is the topic is mental health, right? Because there are a lot of stressors that military families endure, children of veterans are still enduring that. But the stressors that we're talking about are, like you mentioned, that they move frequently, right? So a military-connected child might move once every 2 years or so. They attend multiple schools. I myself was a military-connected child. I served as well, but I was a military-connected child. My mother was a military-connected child. She served as well. So I think we're 5th generation military, and that's sort of, that's how it is. And the military, it is a family thing. A lot of military children end up going into military. So if you're thinking about you're supporting and caring for a military child, someday you're really truly supporting perhaps a sailor or a soldier or a Marine, because they oftentimes follow in their parents' footsteps. When I think about the best way to support military-connected children, I listen to the children and what the studies of children whose parents are deployed or have been deployed and or in the military. And every time they do a study, what rises to the top is that the students are saying they need other students to support them. And so here in Virginia, we have the Purple Star program. As part of the Purple Star designation for a school has to demonstrate how that is happening in their school, how well are your peers supporting other peers. And if that's not active and robust, you're likely not to get the Purple Star designation. What we're finding by just conducting sort of anecdotal research, we're out there interviewing these teams and seeing what they're doing. It is amazing. It's amazing what's happening in these school cultures where we have peer-to-peer support and sound ways. Those programs that are solid and running well, we're seeing it's filtering across the school community, where these the school students are reporting on the school climate surveys that they're feeling more connected and feeling like a greater sense of belonging. And what's happening is that some of the students are reporting that they're breaking down social barriers that I know I experienced when I was in junior high school. That's a long time ago. And I witnessed when I was a teacher here at Rankin County and as a school administrator, they're breaking down these barriers. These students are interceding when they have problems with other peers and assisting with social dilemmas that every person encounters in their life, and it's a beautiful thing to see. I call them our future counselors and social workers and things like that. So it's a great thing to witness. But the month of the military child is a great thing because it kind of gives us a chance to pause think about our military-connected children who are in almost every single school division in Virginia. I think we have a military child, the data shows that we have 130 school divisions that are reporting military-connected children. And believe it or not, the Guard and Reserve students may not feel like they're military connected, but they truly are. Their parents are being activated at a higher rate than any other time in our nation's history, and they're doing a lot, and they're without their families as well, so we have to think about them. But along the lines of, supporting veterans and supporting veteran families, I asked Ben to come and talk today because he really is kind of when it comes to that.
Thanks, Dan. Thanks, everybody. It's really a pleasure to be here. I made a mistake one time, and I forgot to ask one time if people were affiliated with the military in the room. I always like to start by just asking, does anybody have any connection to the military in any way? Now, any connection to the Vietnam era veteran in any way? And is everybody really connected to the Vietnam era? All right, good. Yeah, okay. World War II. Okay, so our families, friends, we're kind of connected to them, right? So their lives, would you say, had an influence on us? And whether we were a military kid or not, like, we have a relationship with the military, really all of them. It's part of our story. Right? So as the operations director at the Virginia War Memorial, I'm often telling stories and interacting with kind of the story of who we are, America. Right? And I don't know if this resonates for everyone, but think about the Vietnam era story. Did the community really see the Vietnam era veteran, or what do people remember about the Vietnam era? Anybody online? Like, one of the things that I think a lot of people would say is significantly memorable about the story of the Vietnam era is that when the Vietnam veterans came home, they really weren't seen. Like, think about what that is. Like, what's the opposite of mental health? Like that feeling of like isolation, the explosions that happen inside of your inner world, have nowhere to go, you don't know what to do about them, you don't know who to talk to about them, and the culture is kind of just telling you to suck it up. Like, that's the Vietnam era. That Vietnam era came partly from the World War II era. It came partly from our military training. It came partly from every last little part of who we are now. So the point I'm trying to make is that era didn't have any of this. All right, so here's my era. My era is post 9/11. Okay, I come back from Iraq in 2007, and I got those same kind of explosions in my inner world, and I don't really know what to do about it. However, my community really welcomed me home. They did a lot of wonderful things, like saying thank you for your service, and I want to hear your story. I want to see you. That's what they said. I mean, that's what they were doing. Right? They legitimately wanted to see me. And that felt amazing. And also, I also felt a lot of shame because they're seeing me, they're loving me, they're showing me as they believe I am, the best version of myself. And in the dark moments, I was the opposite. I mean, I was, I hope I'm resonating when I say those inner world, and I don't mean explosion like it just happens. I'm talking the ones that last forever. I'm talking the ones where you're doing deep into the spirals of doubt and worry and fear and whether you'll connect ever again. Like, those kinds. Yeah. So when I reached out, I got a lot of help, and I got a lot of options, and I got options from the government. I got options from the VA. And that was 2010. And so from 2010, the war continued all the way to 2021. That's the post 9/11 era wars, the global war on terror, 2021. That's 20 years of war. And that's a huge amount of time, longest wars in our history. But what that sacrifice brought us was a much deeper understanding what to do about the turmoil, the trauma, and the wounds that aren't necessarily physical. And out of that came tremendous growth in the mental health space. And I remember, saying, back in the last couple of years, like, we've really made mental health not something that you hide from or something that we don't know how to talk about, but something that we can be professional about and something that we can add that uniquely American awesomeness, which is just our good. We know how to deploy it. And each time we have something like this, where you kind of see a little bit, right? You know how to get past the armor a little bit. Right? You know how to get them to armor down because you know that just like you, they have that special awesomeness inside of them. It's just waiting to get out. And that's the best part about this country. And the best part about being able to serve and to see that y'all are doing this here and in the digital space just makes my heart just wide open. And so each time you take that extra time to like learn a little bit more about the military child and kind of what that must be like, each time that kind of calms you a little bit, hold a little bit more space, right? And you go up to that military kid and you've got a little bit more space to hold for them and they can open up a little bit more for you. And then just like what that is saying, especially if it's peer to peer, it's just off to the races. And that's what Goodwill does. So it's an honor to be a part of this little sharing of goodwill here and in the virtual space. And truly, truly thank you so much. And thank you for doing this. Really. Thank you for keep pushing the ball forward. Great job.
Thank you. All right, so we're going to switch gears just a little bit and talk about how Henrico County Public Schools support our military-connected children, students, and their families. So within Henrico County Public School Strategic Plan, there are 4 cornerstones or focus areas that we focus on. We refer to them as the 4 cornerstones. So each speak to ways that we support our military-connected families. Some examples are how all students receive Tier 1 social, emotional, and mental health learning. Lessons provided by school-based mental health professionals such as our counselors. And this is connected with our safety and wellness cornerstone.
For the equity and opportunity, we've led some school student-led transition clubs, which are made up of students who are military connected and work with these students that come to the school to welcome them who are also military connected.
The distinction, we are relating academic growth to supporting our military connected families, information on advanced academic programs and application deadlines, specifically like specialty centers. We also look at graduation requirements, diploma options, and home instruction can all be located through each school's website and or the HCPS website as well.
And last but not least, relationships. So just like tonight's program, relationships is a big thing when we do consider our students who are transitioning from school to school. Kind of like our special guest Dan and Ben just mentioned, that's a big piece of our students or for our students who are military connected and their families as well. So aside from that, or programs like tonight that we do on the school level and district level to support our military branches and our military connected students, we do division-wide programs. So next week we have Purple Up Day. So that is when we are all in agreement or support for our students by wearing purple. So April 17th, make sure you wear them.
Yes, please.
All right. So another way that we make sure that our students at the school level are being supported, just like we just mentioned, our peer-led transition. So if you had to guess, and I think you might have heard this, if you had to guess how many times children who are military connected changes schools, how many times would you guess? Is it 6 to 9? Any other guesses?
Yeah.
Okay, so we did mention it. Okay. Both of us listening to you. So yes, between 6 to 9 times from the kindergarten on up to high school graduation. So we want to highlight our peer-to-peer clubs that are happening at many of our schools. And these clubs, again, provide opportunities for to enhance our social skills and for them to learn leadership skills, build character, improve self-esteem, and to integrate into their community. So as you can see on the screen, at Ward Elementary, Cope Companions is the name of the group where our students who are military connected get with each other throughout the school year. They do different activities through a program called Anchor for Life. And it's a curriculum that provides different resources that the students and, of course, the adults can use to support those students who are military connected. So you can see different pictures up there. I think it's 2 pictures from different groups that we've done just to start introducing our students to other students that they have that connection with.
So one way that we celebrate is we have a thing called Paper Towel Purple. So that's where we ask local businesses and government agencies, so City Hall, county courthouses, et cetera, to hang purple wreaths, ribbons, bows on their buildings during Purple Month Week. We also have a military child do the announcement and share an interesting fact about their life as a military child. There's also a thing called Daily Factoids, where it's a daily or weekly announcement with military connected students with facts. Start with the national facts and then move into the school facts. We also have adopt a service member. So that's where you adopt a deployed service member or unit. They can send cards, letters, and care packages to deployed troops and also adopt a family. We also have guest speakers where we ask a military member, so a parent or sibling, someone in the class, to be a guest speaker and share their perspective on life in the military as well as their profession. We've also had a poster contest, so they got to decorate the school. You can have a group of kids design posters thanking military children and their parents for their services. Having military children make posters reflecting their experience. And you can have a contest for students to choose their favorite poster as well. So it really gets the students engaged and involved. We've also had chalk art where we ask families and students to decorate the sidewalk at school, at home, or at a park and share it through social media. So that's really awesome.
That's one of our favorite things to do until it rains the next day and everything is washed away. But the positive affirmations do at least last until the end of the day or when they go home.
So with April being the month of the military child, we wanted to highlight this and we wanted to dedicate this month's Mental Health Matters session to raising awareness about our military families and how our schools support students who are connected to the military. We also feel it's important to make sure that our families feel connected to a community of others who are also military.
Throughout the year, schools host different service projects such as coat, food, or toy drives to support its local community and their own students. This is a way that our community can support students who transition to our schools throughout the years, because oftentimes students who could really benefit from resources and support at the get-go.
All right, and so I know we already mentioned this, but Purple Up Day is a creative way to support. So even by stopping by your child's school to offer support to the families or the parents of the students, it's a creative way to build community and welcome our families in. So for example, if I'm a parent at Ward Elementary and I'm aware that this is a school who recognizes and supports their military connected families, I come to the front office or even just have a conversation with Lexi and Cammie to say, hey, I know you sometimes have families and parents and students transitioning into your school maybe mid-year. I know y'all are doing something at the school level for the students, but what about those parents getting used to and getting familiar with the community? So that's just one creative way to be involved with your child's school. Just check it in to see how you can be involved to support the parents. So yes, it's important, of course, to make sure that our students are being supported, but they go home to parents who also need support in that community. So again, Purple Up Day is on the 17th, and that's how we as Henrico show support as a community.
Thank you for coming
Yeah.
to support our military families, and thank you for your service as well. I appreciate y'all being here.
Thank you guys for joining virtually. do appreciate your attention.